Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Luna. If you do not know me, welcome. I'm glad you joined. Today we are continuing my astrology series that I do each time we enter a new sign, and today we are entering into Cancer season. Hey buddy. Oh, don't scratch that, thank you. This is Mr. If you guys don't know, he's a cutie. He always likes to make little appearances. Sorry, bud. So today, well, maybe not today, but June 20th is when we enter Cancer season. So as you know, we've been chilling in Gemini season, and I just wanted to give you guys all the information, all like the lowdown, what to expect, the energies that will arise, the themes that will probably come up for you, a little bit about the sign of Cancer, just for educational purposes. I'm gonna give you guys a ton of ritual ideas, activity ideas to celebrate the season, crystals, Glamour Magick, and as always, an oracle reading for the collective. So, whew, these episodes, they're just so jam-packed with info, and I love it. So, if you are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like what you see, and like it too if you like. You guys can find me everywhere. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Patreon, I have a podcast, so if you like me, you can get more of me everywhere. If this is your first astrology video, I like to go through, talk about why it's important that we acknowledge the season we're in, how to find the sign we're talking about in your chart, and how to see correlations of what's happening in the astrological chart of the moment, and looking at your chart specifically. So let's go ahead and get started, because this is gonna be a big one. Grab a snack, grab some tea, some coffee, whatever you like, and let's get going. So why is it important to understand what's happening and take that into our lives? So if you are even a bit familiar with astrology, you'll know that regardless of if we know it or not, we will be feeling the effects of whatever is happening. You guys know this, on a full moon, on a new moon, solar eclipses, whatever is happening, we feel those effects, and that's why we see such different personalities with the different cocktails of, what planets and what sign, etc. So I always find it to be so much easier of a month when I am aware of what themes might be popping up in my life, before they start, okay? So I'm not just why am I having all these inner child issues pop up right now? What have I done? It's well, if you would have looked at your astrology, you would have known. So it's kind of just a little bit of a helper into, predicting what kind of themes you might be dealing with this month. If you might be feeling a bit more emotional, it gives you a bit more empathy, I guess, with yourself. So my first step, as always, for you guys is to look at your birth chart, go to astro.com. There's other ones, but definitely don't use CoStar or anything. You definitely want the wheel, your full natal chart, and you're gonna wanna look at where Cancer is in your chart. So depending on what starts your, house system, what's your ascendant, Cancer will fall in one of the 12 houses, okay? So it's gonna be different for everybody, but it's in one of the 12, okay? So go to your chart, figure out which house it is, and then come right back here. So now that you know what house, it's also important to look at what's going on in your 4th house, because Cancer is probably not in your 4th house. If it is, that's dope. If it's not, that's fine. 4th house is ruled by Cancer. So whatever planets or sign is in your 4th house, those are going to be coming up because those are ruled by Cancer. Likewise, wherever Cancer is in your house system, what planets are in Cancer, and you might not have any planets in Cancer, and that's fine, but just look at those correlations, and I know that was a lot. So what planets are in Cancer, and what planets are in your 4th house, and what house is in Cancer, okay? Does that make sense? So let's go into a little bit of info now that you're okay, my Cancer's in my 7th house or whatever, you're ready, you're prepared, you've got the themes down. If you need to know what themes go with which house. I'll put a little infographic here. And you can always just look up like Cancer in the 7th house. What does this mean? Or you can interpret it yourself with just knowing the signs, like the traits of Cancer and the traits of the 7th house, or whatever house it is. So now that we have all that information, we can go ahead and just talk a little bit about the sign of Cancer, whether or not you know a whole bunch. This will just be a good refresher, but if you don't know anything about Cancer, this is great. This will give you like all the info. So the dates of Cancer go from June 21st to July 22nd. And those will change like a little bit each year, but that's like the basic. It is a water sign, so you know we're in those feelings, we are entering back into the emotional state of being. It is also a cardinal modality. So with modalities, that's kind of a bit more like how they work. So with cardinal, one cardinal sign we've already seen this astrological season is Aries. So we already know Aries are fiery as hell, okay? They are crazy. So you mix that just very head on, like big energy, I know what I'm doing, cardinal energy with the water sign, and you just know you get a crab, right? Like very mushy on the inside, but like hard ass exterior, like don't mess with my friends, don't mess with my family, or I'll cry and also hit you. So like, it's such a great mix up. I love that. Like I already said, Cancer does rule the 4th house, and that is going to be the house of the mother, family, home, your roots, you know, children. So those are the themes that your 4th house has. And obviously those are the themes connected to Cancer. And of course, Cancer is ruled by the moon. So I love that. I love the moon. The moon does often represent the mother or the feminine, or you know, the divine feminine. So those are also some themes that'll be coming up this month. And with that, it is considered a feminine sign. I do like to say, though we attribute masculine and feminine qualities to different signs, it's not in the traditional Western society, like man versus woman. It's not binary in a gender sense. It's more, if you think of your left and your right side of the brain, it's more of that right side, that flowing creativity, less like direct, logical, analytical, and just a lot more going off your intuition and your feelings. So a little bit about Cancer is, because they are a water sign, they are so emotional, but they are so nurturing. They are the mother, okay? And they do get aggressive, like I said before. They will be very hard shell aggressive. If you mess with them, if you mess with their feelings or their family or their close friends, they will pop off. I always like to give you guys a bit of like a color scheme. I like colors a lot and like thinking with colors. And these are just my interpretation of the sign of Cancer. Feel free to like take your own interpretation. If you feel like Cancer is green or something else, then that's totally fine because it resonates with you for some reason. So definitely go with what you think, but these are just my thoughts. I think general people think of white and silver because it is like the moon. I also get like a light blue, almost like a sea foam color, and also peachy color, probably just the crab symbolism in my mind, but those are the colors that I associate with Cancer. I always like to kind of look back on the sign that we just finished, which would have been Gemini, and see how those themes are connecting us into this next season. And so I kind of take this as a need of retreat back to our home life and more of a softness and like an awareness of feelings, because in Gemini season we were very kind of all over the place. Like we are very hopping from one topic to the other, very interested in things, you know, going out, seeing friends, talking, you know. This is a bit more of an introspective period where we are going to be listening rather than talking, because Cancer is like the mother, and what does a good mother do? Like they listen to those they love and like they care for them. And so, and you don't need to look at this as, I don't want to go too like Virgo with it, you know what I mean? Like this isn't, I don't want you to just do for others. Like I do want you to focus on self-love. And I don't mean that and like, you know, the freaking Tumblr, you know, style. Like I mean genuine, like do some shadow work if that's necessary. Heal your like inner child. Like what's your mother wound? Like do you have a mother wound? Because that's going to be big this month. And we'll get into that later, but I do want to just say that yes, this is nurturing and this is like the mother, but do not forget that you also have your inner child that you need to mother as well. Next, let's talk about our activities and rituals that we can do for Cancer season. So I always like make a list of things that I think are just so like great for the sign of Cancer and that seem fun to me and I think we could all benefit from. So my first one, kind of like I was just saying, have a self-love day retreat, okay? And so, like I said, like Gemini season is like, that energy is a lot. Like that is a lot of energy and like a lot of expending and a lot of being with other people. So taking a day in the beginning of Cancer season, if you want to kind of check in with yourself, and you don't have to do anything, like you don't have to make it a huge ritual day. Like if you don't have time, that's fine. But taking a moment to check in with yourself and be like, have I been respecting my boundaries? Have I been giving too much of myself? Like, how can I mother myself? Because that is a big thing that's gonna be coming up this month, is mothering yourself, okay? My next activity is to bake something for yourself or, you know, your partner, or to host like a friend's dinner, like just cooking dinner for friends or family. This might be like the most common like motherly trope, but it truly does like kick into that Cancer like element, because it is just the most nurturing thing to do for someone. Like cooking and feeding people, that is just very nurturing. And like I said, you don't have to like cook a whole like 3-course meal for like everybody, but you can just like bake yourself some cookies, or you know, just doing that act of preparing food as a love ritual for yourself or for others. Now is the time, if you haven't already, to start some moon magic, you guys. And if you are already like into moon magic, keep it going, keep it flowing, because this is the time of the moon, okay? This is the time of like gazing at the moon and just being in awe. And you don't have to, like, this is regardless of your spiritual or religious views. Like, you don't have to do anything you don't want to, but even as simple as just looking at the moon and like recognizing how beautiful it is and like the phases of it. Or if you want to, if you're more witchy, you can definitely do some moon rituals, like go full in and get into your lunar magic. Like now is the perfect time. Something I would like to note is that this month is going to be very important that we honor the divine feminine. And if you don't know what I'm saying when I say that, that's okay. It is kind of like I said before, we have the masculine and the feminine. It's in every culture, it's the yin and the yang, right? So it is important that we honor the divine feminine within ourselves and our society, because we are so heavily focused on the masculine, just like in the type of world that we live in. It's obviously been ruled by men for a very long time, but it is very work focused. It's very, you know, you have to work to live, you have to work to eat, right? So it's just very like things you have to do, and we don't often allow ourselves to just flow and just be. Like literally the idea of just existing and just being is absolutely bonkers for some people. So taking time to honor that divine feminine, you can do meditations, get into yoga, just getting into the flow. That's like the key word here. In whatever way that feels right for you. Now is also a really good time to spend time with your mother or maternal figures, your grandma, aunts, or whoever was like a really big part of growing you, if that makes sense. And, you know, really just like giving them thanks and gratitude, even if it's just calling your mom or just like scheduling a lunch date. And if you don't have a good relationship with your mom, or you have lots of like mother wounds, like I was talking about earlier, now is the time to really work on those and to try to heal a little bit of that. This kind of correlates to the last one. I think it's very important during this time that if you feel like you have built up anger or resentment or, you know, negativity towards past trauma or past issues, that now is the time to do a release spell, okay? And if you don't know what a release spell is, pretty simple. You can kind of do your own rendition of it. I like to like write what I'm trying to release on a paper and then like light it on fire and like put it in my cauldron. But you can do anything, really. Cancer, like I said, they are very hard-shelled. They are also very good at holding grudges, and holding grudges is not very good, because if you're holding on to this trauma or resentment towards someone and you're not allowing yourself to let go of that, it is going to cause physical, like emotional, psychological ailments, and it's not going to be a good time. So that is a trap you can get stuck in during the season. So I think it's very important that if you feel that you do have something that you've not let go of, to do a release spell, even if it's just, you know, like deleting someone's number, or, you know, getting rid of an old pair of pants that belong to an ex or something, you know what I mean? Like, something as simple as that can really be beneficial. So on to the segment of crystals. These are really good crystals to meditate with, to just carry, to just like think of during this time, because they have really, really beneficial qualities. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you that you need to like go out and buy crystals. Like, that's not necessary. If you want to, of course, go for it. But if you can't, you can even just like make this your phone background or your desktop wallpaper. Even just something as simple as that. The first stone I'm going to talk about is, well, two, opal and moonstone, because these are both stones that relate to the moon and to the sign of Cancer. So these are going to feel very at home. These are going to make you like flow with that energy better, connect with the energy really well. And it just kind of embodies all of what's going to be happening. Red jasper is going to connect you to your root chakra. Any of those, carnelian too, but any red crystals, specifically red jasper, it's going to connect you to your root chakra. And that is where we feel security and safety within our environment. So it's going to be very good for feeling at home. And finally, rhodonite is completely heart chakra energy. So this is going to just be great because the heart chakra and the root chakra are just going off during this time. It heals any like emotional wounds, and I say that, you know, obviously go to therapy. Like, the crystal's not going to heal everything, but it does help you with your, you know, issues if you're holding on to resentment and whatnot. And it also is really good for promoting love and just giving off those love vibrations. If you guys do not know, I do a Spotify playlist each zodiac season with music that embodies the energy, so that if you are a musical person and like that just gets you in the mood of things, then it'll be perfect for you. So I will have that linked below. It's gonna be the most emotional playlist you've heard. It's gonna be so good. Okay, because Pisces was like sad bitch hours. This is just sad. And for my segment on Glamour Magick, so this one was interesting for me because I feel like the other seasons have been very obvious for me, but this one was a lot more subtle. The first thing though I do think would be a great idea is to, and this might be weird or silly or whatever, but I think recreating your memories of your mother's glamour. And like, it doesn't have to be like you actually mimicking a 70s, you know, like makeup look or something. But, you know, what do you remember from your mom? Like, did she always wear like a red lip? Same for like your grandma or any other maternal figures. Basically any maternal figures that really impacted you, even if it's like a celebrity, even if you just feel like very connected to Angelina Jolie, like, and you looked up to her or whatever, you know, things like that. I will say for me, I did this for this video, these chopsticks, my mom would always wear, these are hers, she would always wear these chopsticks, and I stole them from her because she stopped wearing them, so I took them. And so every time I wear them, I think of her, and so that's just a bit of an example of how you can do this very subtly, and like, you don't have to overthink it or anything. You know, it's just simple. Also, embody the element of water, okay? So those blue-green colors, silk, like silky fabrics, I wore this for this. Silky fabrics, they just look like waves to me. They feel very, you know, smooth, and they just remind me of water. So it's okay if you have a different idea of what water is to you, but embodying that feeling within your glamour and your fashion is gonna help you really get into that. And finally, I think this is simple, but I think this is important. Wearing things that make you feel comfortable and like at home in your body. And this can be for makeup, for hair, for clothing. I think this is really important because I think a big part of Glamour Magick is not putting on some costume to make you look like someone else. Like, that is really kind of the opposite, I think. It is taking what feels good to you and using that to embody like an emotion or an idea, but all the while it is comfortable for you. If I'm putting on some shit that I'm not comfortable in or I don't like, it doesn't matter what I was trying to do, those feelings are gonna come through. So if you are someone who likes to wear comfy shorts and big t-shirts, like, do it. You know, find ways, if you want to, find ways to get that into the water element. Maybe it's blue, maybe it's like very flowy and it reminds you of water. You know, you don't have to do anything that's not comfortable or that's just like out of your comfort zone, I guess. So I do think just comfortability is so important. Okay, so one of my favorite parts, let's go ahead and do our collective oracle reading for Cancer season. And this is my first time in this setup, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do it here. If you guys have not been here before, I always just like to do a collective reading so we can all kind of see what the heck energies might be really coming up, what we can maybe be aware of, like if spirit has any messages. So yeah, so let's go ahead and see. What does the collective need to know this Cancer season 2021? What are some themes that will be popping up? What is any advice from spirit for the greatest good? Okay, we've got Algiz. I never know how to say that rune. It says guardianship, security, higher self. Okay, so those themes of guardianship and security definitely connect to that home life, that root chakra, mothering and whatnot. Guardianship. That also gives me the like mothering yourself feeling as well. This guy wants to come out. Red, strength, passion, intensity. Again, root chakra, okay? So grounding ourselves is going to be very, very important because we might be just like extra feeling that Gemini energy after the solar eclipse that happened in Gemini. That is eclipse season is very transformative and can really make us feel, you know, just like unsettled and just not connected, I guess. So strength, passion too, that is, we got the power. We really got the power within, okay? Then we've got Carnelian. Guys, what the heck? We've got so much red energy. It says warrior, creativity, ambition. These are the cards from the ritual deck that we got, okay? Wow, big root chakra energy. This is so much fun, okay. I'm really happy to see that. Let's do one more, okay? I said I was done with that deck, but we're gonna do one more actually. Okay, Spirit, let's just have one more card of what energy will present itself to us in Cancer season 2021. What energies we gonna be feeling? Oh, okay, we had two come out, so I'm gonna deal with that. We've got the waning crescent, acceptance, allowance, evolution. That's a lot more of that feminine, you know what I mean? That flowing, like I was saying, acceptance, allowance, evolution. And then we've got Tiwaz, another rune that I don't know how to pronounce. Sacrifice, justice, and spirit warriors. So this is very different than we've been seeing, right? The sacrifice I feel like is a bit of a motherly trait in some sort of sense, but you know, even the card color, we have all this pink, this red, this orange, and now we've got this blue. We got these like higher chakra colors coming out. So I feel like this is really reiterating the themes we've talked about. We've got the guardianship, security, strength, passion, intensity, warrior, right? Okay, so these guys really feel very connected. And then I feel like this waning crescent is our transitional card, I guess, if that makes sense. We've got acceptance, allowance, and evolution, which I feel like that is leading us into this sacrifice, justice, spirit warrior, which to me is coming through as another transformation in some sort of sense of, I'm getting right now, actually, sorry, I don't mean to be weird. I get sometimes like messages that come through, but I'm really feeling that this is saying that many of you guys, many of us are going to do our inner child healing, do our inner mothering, like mothering ourselves, and we are going to come out as spirit warrior, you know what I mean? We're gonna come out like if we do our shadow work this season, it is going to be very beneficial. I'm feeling that for sure. And I am also feeling with this that there is a person in many people's lives right now that is going to, whether they are in this realm or they are, really a spirit warrior, like I do feel like there is a presence in your life that is going to help you on this journey and be very beneficial. Again, it could just be a like some sort of inspirational figure online or a celebrity or something, or it could be like your mom or a person in your life, or it could be a past, like an ancestor that's passed on or a family member. Okay. What are some issues that are going to come up? What are some issues that we are going to face as a collective in Cancer season 2021? Okay, we got things coming out. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This one got tea. This deck doesn't hold back. Okay. We've got valuelessness, and then we've got leadership and joy. So this is, to me, saying that many of us are feeling right now, and I hope you guys can see, I know that it's pretty bright in here. We've got these two like executives and then a very small person like cleaning. I feel like this is representative of a lot of the issues in society that are making many of us feel like we are trapped. I know the collective is waking up to a lot of the injustices that are happening in the world, and I feel like many of us are feeling stuck in a place of like, what am I doing with my life? Or maybe even a feeling of like not knowing how to take control. But then we've got this joy and this leadership card, which is telling me that through this leadership and like helping of others, because with the joy I'm also seeing, obviously we've got like these people in a circle. I'm feeling like this is very, okay, this might be weird, you guys, but I'm feeling like many people are going to join together and help society, and this might be like very collective, I might be seeing some stuff happen, help us kind of grow to equality. Like that the only way out of this, of any oppressive system or of, you know, even just toxic relationships or toxic workplaces, the only way out of that is together. Okay, with someone needs to step up and be the leader, and we need to join together, and that's what's gonna bring us to feeling fulfilled and feeling, you know, like we have our place in the world. Okay, finally let us take a card from the Moonlight Oracle deck. This is a beautiful deck. And let's just see what the Moon Goddess, what Mama Luna, what message do we have? What message does the moon have for us as we enter her season? One really came out. Rest, you guys. We got Waning Crescent. That simply says rest, okay? That is it. I love the directness of that. I love that it wasn't anything fancy or like, you know, wild. Simply to rest. Because truly, like, we can't do our inner child work. We can't do our meditations if we are just constantly stuck in that kind of divine masculine, but to the too far. You know what I mean? We're not balancing. If we're set much too far in the work, we have to get this shit done, we have to do this, then we are not allowing ourselves to rest. And rest and meditation and reflection is where the healing really takes place, okay? If you're just working 40 hours a week and not stopping to think about the issues, you're not going to fix these things, you know what I mean? So lots of like growing, and that's perfect because Cancer season starts right on the summer solstice of Litha, which is about the peak of summer, and you know, the earth is blossoming and like we're in our energies peak. So it's really awesome. Amazing. Okay, I won't keep you guys any longer. I thank you guys so much for joining me. It was really an honor to read for you guys. I hope you all have a blessed Cancer season, and let me know which of these activities you plan on doing. If you are a Cancer, if you have anything in Cancer, or even if you have figured out which house is in Cancer, let me know in the comments. I am a 5th house Cancer. So, wait, is that true? No. I'm a 3rd house Cancer. Yes, Taurus rising, Gemini, Cancer. I'm a 3rd house Cancer, you guys. So I'm gonna be feeling those feelings of communication, of siblings. What we just did with the Gemini energy, that's what's going on with my Cancer energy. So that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. I love you. Bye.